So beta, we were here, right? So when you look into the pancreas, I told you pancreas are both exocrine and endocrine in function. So the exocrine part of pancreas, you are finding this is the main duct here, which is receiving the pancreatic juice, and this is called as the major pancreatic duct. Similarly, you are finding one small duct, okay, which is called as minor pancreatic duct. Okay, when you observe, like from our previous picture, there was one green duct which was running behind the first part of the duodenum. What was the name of this duct?
Bile duct.
Very good, Lokesh. Bile duct. Now, if you observe this bile duct, it is coming and it is uniting with the pancreatic duct. Both of them are joining to form hepatopancreatic ampulla of Vater. This is given a special name which is called as ampulla of Vater. Hepato means from liver. Pancreatic means from pancreas. Hepatopancreatic bulge ampulla of Vater, which will be opening where? In the second part of the duodenum. Okay, that means what? See, here beta, you are finding this yellow color duct now. This is shown from behind. This is major pancreatic duct. What is this green duct? Bile duct. So both the ducts are joining to form the major duodenal papilla. Where is this opening? What is this C-fold?
Duodenum.
Duodenum. Which part of the duodenum, Lokesh?
Second part.
Excellent. Very good. So the major duodenal papilla is opening into the second part of the duodenum. Other than this major duct, I told you there is one small duct also. Minor, I said. We can also use the word accessory pancreatic duct. Where is it opening? This is also opening where?
Second part.
Very good. In the second part of the duodenum. So second part of the duodenum is receiving pancreatic juice and it is also receiving bile juice, isn't it? Do you agree? The pancreatic juice is coming into the second part of the duodenum. Bile juice is also opening into the second part of the duodenum. Okay? So, see here, the bile duct unites with the pancreatic duct. Okay, both of them are joining. And what is the name of this dilatation? Hepatopancreatic ampulla, ampulla of Vater. The ampulla is opening into the second part of the duodenum, and this opening is called as major duodenal papilla. The small duct is called as accessory pancreatic duct, which is opening 1 inch above in the second part of the duodenum, and this opening is called minor duodenal papilla. Okay. So see here. This is the second part of the duodenum. We can see now exclusively, this is the bile duct and this is the pancreatic duct. Both of them are covered with sphincter muscles. Okay, that means when bile juice is coming, then only the sphincter will relax. When pancreatic juice is coming, this sphincter will relax. Okay, so this is actually called as sphincter of Oddi. We will describe in detail when we are doing the pancreas and liver. So the bile duct is uniting with the pancreatic duct to form hepatopancreatic ampulla of Vater, which is opening in the second part of the duodenum, and this opening is called as major duodenal papilla. What is the name of this opening? Hansraj? What is the name of this opening? Major duodenal papilla. Apart from this, see, this is the second part of the duodenum exclusively you are seeing. Okay, this is the main pancreatic duct.
Ma'am, can you one show minor duodenal papilla?
Yeah. See, this is the minor duodenal papilla. Are you finding accessory pancreatic duct here? Small one?
Yes,
This is exclusively second part of the duodenum. This is the best picture. Just 1 inch above, you are finding the small hole.
Yes, ma'am.
This small hole is the accessory pancreatic duct, and the name of opening is the minor duodenal papilla. You are finding this big opening.
Minor duodenal papilla. Okay.
Above one is minor duodenal papilla, below one is major duodenal papilla. Okay. Major duodenal papilla is nothing but the opening of the hepatopancreatic duct.
Ampulla.
Lokesh, did you understand better what I am trying to tell you?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay. So duodenum. Now see here, this is a very beautiful picture. Which see, this is first part of duodenum, second part of duodenum, third part of duodenum, fourth part of the duodenum, jejunum. So now see here, in the second part of duodenum, the main pancreatic duct is joining with the bile duct to form hepatopancreatic ampulla of water. What is the name of this opening, Imad?
Which one, ma'am? Major duodenal papilla.
Major duodenal papilla. Accessory pancreatic duct is 1 inch above. What is the name of this opening?
Minor.
Minor
Very good.
duodenal papilla.
Minor duodenal papilla. Okay, hope you understood this. Okay, this is exclusive. This box is highlighted here, zoomed over here. So violet duct is pancreatic duct, green duct is common bile duct. Both of them are joining. A small bulge is found. You call it as hepatopancreatic ampulla of water, which is opening in the second part of duodenum. Okay, the name of the opening is major duodenal papilla. Okay. Now coming to the blood supply of duodenum. See, yesterday I told you whole of the GIT is developing from 3 areas. Do you remember that bit of foregut, midgut, hindgut?
Yes.
I'll try it. See, this is a little slow. I can't take you fast. This is little slow. Okay, but I will stick to this diagram only and try to make you recollect. See, artery of foregut. What is the name of the artery of foregut?
Celiac trunk.
Very good, very good. Celiac trunk. What is the artery of midgut?
Superior mesenteric artery.
Very good. This is the superior mesenteric artery. Here you see. This is our celiac trunk. This is the superior mesenteric artery. What is the artery of hindgut?
Inferior mesenteric.
Excellent, Lokesh. Inferior mesenteric artery. So duodenum is partly developing from foregut, partly developing from midgut. That's why partly, that means above the major duodenal papilla, it is foregut's contribution. Below the major duodenal papilla, it is midgut's contribution.
Medical.
Okay, so above the major duodenal papilla, it will be supplied by from the branches of celiac trunk. Below the major duodenal papilla, it will be supplied by the branches coming from superior mesenteric artery. Are you understanding?
Yes.
Above major duodenal papilla, branches of celiac trunk. Below opening of major duodenal papilla, branches of superior mesenteric artery. Okay, it has dual supply. So above the opening, it is supplied by superior pancreatico-duodenal artery, which in turn is a branch of celiac trunk. Below the major duodenal papilla, it is supplied by inferior pancreatico-duodenal artery, which in turn is a branch of superior mesenteric artery. Okay. Superior pancreatico. Pancreas are there here. That's why the name pancreatico-duodenal. Because it is above, you use the word superior. Because this is below, you use the word inferior. Very simple. Okay. Okay. Now let us try to elaborate it more. See here. Now this is our celiac trunk. Okay, this is the gastroduodenal artery coming from the common hepatic artery. The gastroduodenal artery is giving branches like this, which is superior pancreatico-duodenal artery. This is superior mesenteric artery. Again, from abdominal aorta, we have superior. From here, you are finding inferior pancreatico-duodenal artery. It has 2 contributions. From anterior aspect, you call it as anterior branch. From posterior aspect, you call it as posterior branch. Like superior thyroid artery, anterior branch and posterior branch at apex we have. Similarly, here also we have an anterior division. The one which is faded, that is the posterior division of the inferior pancreatico-duodenal artery, anterior branch and posterior branch. Similarly for superior also. Both are anastomosing at the second part of the duodenum. So they look as though they are continuous only, but they are contribution of two different arteries, isn't it? Yes, Hemalata? Superior pancreatico-duodenal artery is a branch of which artery?
Ma'am, I did not pay attention to this. Can you please repeat?
Okay, beta. Above the major duodenal papilla, it is all supplied by superior pancreatico-duodenal artery, which is a
Yes,
branch coming from celiac trunk, artery of foregut. Below the major duodenal papilla, the whole thing is supplied by superior mesenteric artery, which is the artery of midgut. Okay, below the major duodenal papilla, we have the artery of midgut as superior mesenteric artery. So,
right.
like above major duodenal this diagram was very easy, beta. Above major duodenal papilla, the artery's name is
From celiac trunk, we get superior pancreatico-duodenal artery.
superior pancreatico-duodenal artery. It's a branch coming from
Celiac trunk.
celiac trunk. Then inferior pancreatico-duodenal artery, all this below the opening of the major duodenal papilla. This is all supplied by inferior pancreatico-duodenal. It's a branch of which artery?
Superior mesenteric.
Superior mesenteric artery is basically artery of midgut.
Abdomen. All right.
Midgut. Celiac trunk is a artery of foregut.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Got it.
Please pay attention, beta, because if your attention is skipped for half minute also, you will not get the continuation. Please.
Yes.
Okay. My son is making fun of me. Okay. Okay, see here, beta. Now coming to the venous drainage, correspondingly we have the veins. Yesterday, if you remember, venous drainage of stomach, all that venous drainage, it was going to which vein?
Portal vein.
Portal vein. So correspondingly, here also same names we have, beta. Superior mesenteric vein. Here we have the splenic vein, then superior mesenteric vein. Splenic vein and superior mesenteric vein, both of them are draining into portal vein. Okay, this is portal. So that is the venous drainage. Now coming to lymphatic drainage. So what are the nearby lymph nodes? See, these are pancreatico-duodenal group of lymph nodes which we are finding like this. Okay, close to the liver we have hepatic. Yesterday with stomach we have seen celiac also. Intestinal lymphatic trunk. A whole of the lymph, like yesterday only, it will drain into cisterna chyli. Cisterna chyli is the largest lymphatic sac which will be opening into the thoracic duct, isn't it? That is. Now coming to the nerve supply, it's moving very slowly. What is the parasympathetic nerve? Always only one nerve, parasympathetic.
Vagus.
You can, very good, vagus. Okay, so sympathetic is T9 to T10. Okay, the thoracic nerves T9 to T10. So this PowerPoint has lot of animations, that's why. So nerve supply is sympathetic and parasympathetic. Sympathetic is T9 to T10 and parasympathetic is always vagus. When you come to the histology, basically I told you we have 4 layers. No? What are the 4 layers we have in the GIT? From outside to inside? Okay, from inside to outside, very good. Mucosa, red in color, blue in color, submucosa, muscularis externa in 2 layers, inner circular layer and outer longitudinal layer, and outermost covering is serosum. Okay, beta? In stomach we had 3 layers, no, instead of 2. What was the third layer? Oblique layer. Okay. So These are all intestinal lymphatics beta, which are shown in green color. When I told you cisterna chyli, when I was talking about thoracic duct, all intestinal lymphatic trunks will join to form the cisterna chyli. I said all these are lacteals. They will be collecting lot of lymph from the intestinal wall. Okay. Anyhow, histology I am not going to elaborate. Now we will go to the applied aspects. So the applied aspects, yesterday I told you, what is peptic ulcer? Abhinav? Peptic ulcer.
From the lesser, sir, to
Lesser. Location.
lesser momentum.
Lesser curvature beta. Eppudu confuse ayipoyi.
Lesser curvature.
Along the
Lesser
lesser.
curvature to the duodenum.
Very good. Very good. So the ulcers which are seen both in the stomach and duodenum, together we use the word peptic ulcer. Okay. To be more specific, it is seen along the lesser curvature of the stomach and first part of the duodenum. Why is it more prone for ulcers in this area? Ritika?
Gastric artery.
Gastric canal.
Gastric canal. What is the another name I told you? Imad? Gastric canal of Magenstrasse, isn't it? That canal will not allow the liquids, fluids, beverages to enter into the whole lumen. Instead, it's a shortcut where you can directly enter and come to the duodenum. Okay. So I will show you what are duodenal diverticula, outgrowths, outpouchings. Okay. Stenosis means narrowing. Okay. Duodenal carcinoma. All these things you can write for applied aspects. Okay. So outpouchings I told you, no? So wherever you will see some outward growths are there, you call them as duodenal diverticula. Stenosis, see, duodenal outline is supposed to be like this, but the lumen has become too narrow. Okay, that is called as congenital stenosis, or it will lead to obstruction. Food will not be able to enter freely from the duodenum into the jejunum. Only small narrow passage may be there, or sometimes it may be completely occluded also. Okay. So duodenal carcinoma. Carcinoma means cancer. Okay. So that's it. So as I proceed, this picture I wanted to show you. See here, beta. I have been telling you, like during our development, whole of the GIT is developing from three parts. GIT, gastrointestinal tract, is developing from one tube, which is actually called as the gut. The gut has been divided endoderm. The germ layer is endoderm. The endoderm is folding to form one tube, that is the gut tube. The gut is divided into three parts. What are the three subdivisions, Imad?
Of what, ma'am?
Gut, GIT.
Foregut, midgut,
Foregut, midgut, hindgut.
Foregut, midgut, hindgut. What is the artery of foregut, Hansraj?
Celiac trunk.
Very
celiac
good.
trunk.
What is the artery of midgut?
Celiac.
Superior mesenteric.
Very good, Hemalata. Superior mesenteric artery. What is the artery of hindgut?
Inferior mesenteric artery.
Very good. All these arteries are the branches of which blood vessel?
Abdominal aorta.
Abdominal aorta. Now see here, in order to understand the blood supply of abdominal visceral organs, I will tell you the derivative of each. Now when you talk about foregut, foregut is giving like from the foregut, esophagus, stomach, first and second part of the duodenum will develop above the major duodenal papilla. Whatever is shown in pink, they are all the derivatives of foregut. That's why they are supplied by the branches of celiac trunk. Is that clear, Lokesh?
Yes.
Foregut nunchi ivanni develop aitundi. Okay, yes, are develop. What are those? Esophagus, stomach, first and second part of the duodenum above the major duodenal papilla's opening. Okay, liver, pancreas, all, and only upper half of pancreas, they are all derived from foregut. So what is the artery of foregut?
Celiac trunk.
Celiac trunk. So all these visceral organs are supplied by celiac trunk. Okay. Now coming to midgut. So below the major duodenal papilla opening, the second part of the duodenum, third, fourth part of duodenum, jejunum, ileum, ascending colon, and right 2/3 of transverse colon. right 2/3. Up to right 2/3 of transverse colon. These are all derivatives of,
Superior midgut.
they are derivatives of midgut, and they are, that's henceforth they are supplied by,
Superior mesenteric artery.
very good. They are supplied by superior. When you study the, see, like if you see duodenum, partly it is derived from foregut, partly it is derived from midgut. That's why it is supplied by the branches of celiac trunk. It is also supplied by the branches of superior mesenteric artery, isn't it? Right? Superior pancreatico-duodenal artery is a branch of celiac trunk. Inferior pancreatico-duodenal artery is a branch of superior mesenteric artery. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Very good. Then this is hindgut beta. What is left over? Hemalata, em migilindi? Kya bach gaya beta?
Some part of transverse colon and the
Left
descending
1/3.
colon.
Very good. Left 1/3 of transverse colon, descending colon, sigmoid colon, rectum, anal
And
canal.
rectum.
Very good. All these are derivatives of,
Inferior mesenteric artery.
they are
Hindgut and
supplied by inferior mesenteric artery. Very good. Is this clear? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
So that's what I wanted all you to remember, beta, because unless you remember all these, you will not be able to understand. So this actually finishes duodenum. Okay. So just want to share few more slides from your textbook so that it makes your learning easy. Can you see Chaurasia's PowerPoint here? L1, L2, L3 is visible on the screen?
Yes.
Yes, yes, okay. So this is first part, second part, third part, fourth part. Okay, and these are the relations. If you find my PowerPoint easy, you can learn from it. And if you find this, yeah, ligament of Treats, I told you when I was discussing peritoneum. Do you remember?
Yes.
No?
From liver.
Suspense. Yeah, from the right crus of diaphragm till the duodenojejunal flexure, there will be one suspension. You call it as ligament of Treats or suspensory muscle of duodenum. Okay, it has smooth muscle fibers, skeletal muscle fibers, and elastic fibers. Okay.
Okay, ligamentum of teres is different from Treats, ma'am.
You, that is different, but ligamentum
Okay.
teres is extending from umbilicus.
Liver. Okay.
From the umbilicus to falciform ligament was teres. Okay?
Okay, okay.
This also I told you, maybe it skipped. You can review my PowerPoint. Ligament of
Okay.
Treats is actually is also called a suspensory muscle, which is extending from the right crus of the diaphragm to the duodenojejunal flexure, which holds the duodenum in position. Okay.
Okay.
This picture is not, it's shown in your textbook, but I just go through once.
Okay.
This is the fourth part of the duodenum. Posteriorly, this is abdominal aorta, sympathetic chain. Okay, and this is actually inferior mesenteric vein. Somewhere it will be, it's labeled here. Inferior mesenteric vein draining. These are the posterior relations. This is left renal artery. Fourth part, exclusively fourth part, posterior. This is the ligament of Treats.
Okay.
Okay, suspensory ligament, suspensory muscle of duodenum, extending from the right crus of the diaphragm, extending up to duodenojejunal flexure. Okay, upper part it has skeletal fibers, smooth muscle fibers, and also the elastic fibers. Upper part skeletal fibers, middle part elastic fibers, lower part smooth muscle fibers. Sometimes it may come as 3 marks question. Suspensory muscle of duodenum. Okay, this picture is from your textbook. Beautiful picture. You see, above the major duodenal papilla, this whole thing is supplied by superior pancreatico-duodenal artery, which in turn is a branch of celiac trunk. Below the major duodenal papilla, it is all supplied by inferior pancreatico-duodenal artery, which is a branch of
Superior mesenteric.
Superior mesenteric. Both the blood vessels will have anterior branches and posterior. That means they will supply from anterior aspect and posterior. So this artery's name is not simply superior duodenal. Instead, it is superior pancreaticoduodenal. That means for pancreas also, we are going to learn same blood vessels. Remember now itself. Pancreas also is partly derived from foregut, partly derived from midgut. That's why it is named as superior pancreaticoduodenal artery, inferior pancreaticoduodenal artery. Okay, jejunum, ileum and all I will discuss in next class. Okay, so we'll stop here.